presented by South Pointe High. My name is Molly Neal. I'm the student body president.
My name is Micaiah Harris, and I'm the former progeny president. We are your mistresses of ceremony for this program.
Today, we would like to welcome you to celebrating the greatness of our genius. Today, we stand before our distinguished admin, teachers, and peers, honored to celebrate African American culture and history through spoken word, singing, dancing, and of course, through our featured speaker for this afternoon, Dr. Jesselyn Anderson. The theme, celebrating the greatness of our genius.
Today we honor and celebrate those history makers, those Black contributors, scholars, scientists, and doctors. We hope to inspire you to celebrate your greatness. And with that said, please be respectful, sit back and enjoy. Celebrating the greatness of our genius, South Pointe's Black History Program.
Now we will have the presentation of the colors by our ROTC, followed by the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift Every Voice and Sing was written by James Weldon Johnson and set to music by his brother Rosamond. For decades, this song has been known as the Black National Anthem.
At this time, we will have the presentation of the colors followed by the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem, by a special choir. Please rise to your feet, and everyone please remain standing during the presentation of the colors and the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Present. Colors.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
We are so grateful for the presentation of the colors and that beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem. And now we will present our program as outlined.
Hallelujah, salvation. Music make you lose control.
I got a cute face, chubby waist, thick legs in shape, rump shaking both ways, make you do it.
My name is Kiana Hood, and I'll be going on being brought from Africa to America by Phyllis Wheaton. 'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, there's a Savior too. Once our redemption, neither salt nor dew. Some view our sable race with scornful eyes. They say their color is a diabolic dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes, black as Cain, may be refined and join the angelic train.
We don't really care about the trends you like to follow. You know what they say, they hit today and gone tomorrow. If I'm in the mood, I get as ratchet as I wanna. Turn around and show you I could bless you with some culture. Working ain't no 9 to 5, California, that's a vibe. Brings us always out to ride. You know that's a lie. We just wanna have some fun. It's some love for everyone. Messing around when you get done. That's the mood, yeah, that's the one. We can't die.
Whether you call it stepping, strolling, or party walking, one thing's for sure, it's exciting to be a part of. One of the most interesting and insightful subgenres of stepping is strolling, also known as party walking. Jacques Malone defines party walking as organized line movement performed around the floor at a party. Other sources define strolling as a cultural dance often performed in unison and in a circle to symbolize unity and strength. Like stepping, strolling has historical ties to both African and American art forms. Strolling's African roots can be traced back to South African and Ghanaian dance forms. One particular dance, the ring shout, is a religious dance produced by African slaves where participants shuffle single file and counterclockwise to music. According to Sterling Stuckey, professor of history at Northwestern University, the ring shout is a sacred ritual in which worshipers shift their feet and move their bodies in a circle to symbolize the connection between the past, the present, and the future. Strolling's American roots begin with Black Greek letter organizations in the mid-20th century when a ritual ceremony called the Death March became popular on historically Black college and university campuses. Dr. Walter Kimbrough defines death marches as the final activity of the BGLO pledge process. Pledges would spend hours marching around campus, reciting poems, and singing organizational hymns. The history of strolling can also be traced back to the Black church. It was here that hand clapping, foot stomping, singing, and dancing became mainstays in Black religious culture. Additional connections include Black military GIs and classic soul music acts like the Temptations, the Supremes, and the Jackson 5. Today, strolling is a staple on college campuses across the country. Fraternities and sororities hold stroll exhibitions, some with cash prizes and scholarships. Since the mid-1980s, many fraternities and sororities and the National Association of Latino Fraternal Organizations, also known as NALFO, have adopted strolling as their art form of choice. Out of respect for Black Greek letter organizations, some do not step, but rather participate in strolling as an alternative. From death marches to dance halls, strolling is now performed in some way, shape, or form by Greeks of all councils. However, there is one rule that you must remember. Never, under any circumstances, break the line or interrupt a fraternity or a sorority stroll. The dominant principle here is respect for the organization. As time moves forward, we will all witness strolling becoming more popular amongst Greeks of all councils. However, it is up to all of us to pass down the history, traditions, and customs from generation to generation.
I'm in the 11th grade, and my poem is called A Black Man's Courage. Love, strength, a glimmer of hope, and a will. These make up a black man's dream, a black man's hope, and a black man's courage. No man of color should say achieving is impossible. Everything is obtainable if you take those few extra steps and find out who you are and who you're meant to be. Our history was made from pain, from fighting, never dying in vain, from achieving the impossible and becoming unstoppable, unconquerable. How dare we say such things are unachievable? We fought for freedom, we fought for rights, we had long days and long nights, suffered discrimination, fought for representation, but we're not afraid to fight for our united nation. MLK marched the streets of D.C. to spread the word of equality, gave a speech to set us free, and 1,000 years later still living his dream. Muhammad Ali flew like a butterfly, stung like a bee, fought against fear to achieve his greatest dreams. Ben Carson was a man with gifted hands, a man humbled to the ground and hated because he was a black man, but had the courage to rise again and save lives that were destined to end. All it takes is love, a glimmer of hope, and a will to build your courage, your foundation, and your legacy.
Hello, I'm here to introduce Dr. Jessalyn Anderson. Dr. Jessalyn Anderson is a nurse practitioner, speaker, and small business owner who values service, innovation, and excellence in all that she does. Her long career in healthcare spans 22 years and has allowed her to serve in various roles within the healthcare industry, including nursing, leadership, IT, clinical faculty, and now as a medical provider. She has a number of degrees, including a BSN, 2 masters, and her doctorate of nursing practice. She is now a dual certified nurse practitioner after obtaining her psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner's degree and passing her certification exam in December of 2021. She is a proud member of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, where she serves her local community through various community service projects and outreach. Her career, education, and speaking engagements continue to feed her passion for improving patient education, health outcomes, and health disparity. Join me in welcoming Dr. Jessalyn Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Jessalyn Anderson. I am a family nurse practitioner and a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I am so honored to be here today, and when Carlo reached out to me to ask me to do this, I'll be honest, I had a lot of emotions that kind of stirred up in me. I was actually in a competition with Carlo, and we don't call it a competition like that, I don't mean it in that way. But we were in a group about 2 years ago. It was a business group, and I met her there, and she's phenomenal. And so when she asked me to do this, of course I would, but I was actually floored and a little bit of tears about it as well. So thank you so much for even considering me. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm also honored to be here. So I was asked to do a speech. Now I'll be honest, that's not my thing. I typically do presentations. I do a lot of presentations, but not so much speeches. So I've been thinking about what should I say, what would I would have wanted to hear when I was in high school, a few years ago, we'll put it like that. My son actually walked these hallways, and so I'm very, very familiar with this school. I'm honored he was able to go here and graduate from here as well. So this is an excellent school. You guys belong to an excellent school. You have excellent staff. And I'm honored to again be asked to come back here to a school where my son recently walked the stage to do this. So just to get started, a little bit about myself. So I graduated from school a few years ago, high school. It was a few years ago, we'll keep it like that. But I always knew what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was nursing. It was always in my heart. It's always been a passion of mine. So here I am, went to nursing school at 18. I finished by the time I was 20. I think I was done because of the way the program was set up. And so, of course, I walk into patients' room, and they knew I was young. And what also some people may know is green, that term, oh, she's green. And they would say, who are you and why are you in my room? And I can kind of understand that, especially now if I'm in a patient's room. You can tell when the staff is a little bit younger. But I was confident in what I was doing because I felt like I had some of the best training that a person could have. I went to Presbyterian School of Nursing, and at that time they were one of the top nursing schools in the area. So I was very honored to go there and graduate from there. So that's kind of where I started my journey. I was a nurse. I've done a number of things in nursing, but most importantly what I did was back in 2013 I went back to school. I became a nurse practitioner, so it was family nurse practitioner. I did that, finished in 2014. I actually did a fellowship program, so much like a physician, what we call a residency. I did that as well, finished that, and also while I was doing that, I also was going back to get my doctorate. So when I went back to get my doctorate, I kind of focused in what we call health disparities. What are health disparities? That's kind of looking at why do some communities, particularly communities of color, have health disparities, or they have poor health than other communities. So that was kind of my focus, and I focused on African American women and breast cancer. But there's a number of disparities: high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, cancer, you name them, there's a disparity. After that, I started doing a lot more research. I started giving presentations, which I currently still give presentations about health disparities, and we kind of track it back and look at it from a historical perspective, because it's always important to bring your history in. So that's one thing I tell y'all students: pay attention in history class and even dig deeper when you get out of school. But I want to give you guys some things today that I wish that I had had. And the term I'm going to use is believe, and we're going to take the syllables in believe, and we're going to talk about them, right? What do they mean? So the B, right? That's the letters in believe. Believe, of course, B can be for believe, and we know it's important to believe, but it's also, another word is best. Always be your best, right? No matter what you do, always be your best at it, right? It's like a craft. It's almost like an art. When I look at nursing, I'm very passionate about it, but I'm also, it's like a craft to me. So I make sure that I'm doing it with compassion. I make sure that my skill level is what it needs to be. I make sure that my patients can feel that I care, because that's important. So be the best at what you're going to do, because there's no point in doing something and doing it halfway. E stands for education, right? When we say education, I'll say I do have a 4-year degree. I have a couple degrees actually, and I do have my doctorate, and I just finished school in August of 2021. I went back and got my psych nurse practitioner, so I am dual certified, so I do have a lot of education under my belt. But I do want people to understand there's other, you have trades, right? I always tell my son, if you can provide a skill, you'll never be hungry, right? So what are your skills? We have things: electrician, carpenter, HVAC. Those are important trades that you have to get an education for. You don't have to be in school 4 years, but 6 months, maybe a year. So we need to consider those things. So education, always educate yourself. And it doesn't always have to be in the realm of school books. It can be finances. Make sure you're educating yourself in finances, right? Do you understand finances? Are you making the best financial decisions? L. So what L stands for is just that L, taking an L. Understand in life, you're going to take L's. It's going to happen. The thing is, how do you recover from any L that you take, right? There should always be a lesson in the L that you take. You sit back, you recover from the lesson, and you ask yourself, okay, what in that happened that I can say going forward, I won't do X, Y, Z. I'll actually do better, and I won't repeat the same mistake. So just understand in life, you will take L's. I is in for integrity. There is nothing you should do in life without integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is doing what you're supposed to do, doing the right thing, even when no one is looking. That is very important, because you want people to say, I can trust them. I know that when they do something, they're doing it what I call above reproach. And what above reproach means is you're doing it with dignity, with honor, with integrity. It's truth. Being not truthful with yourself, but also with people and how you deal with them. That's very important. E. So E stands for easy. It's understanding that life is not going to be easy. Life is never easy. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have things that come up. It's just important how you deal with them, and never look at them like this is the end, this is it. But on the flip side of life not being easy, you have to remember, be easygoing, right? You want to be easygoing. You don't want to be uptight about everything. Learn how to have fun with things. Learn how to let go, right? And not be so stressful about situations. So learn how to be easygoing. V, this is very important to me. It's about finding your voice, right? So you always have to find your voice. And your voice may be different from somebody else's voice, right? And people can know when you speak, when you have your voice, do you have passion about it, right? A lot of people will tell me when I speak, they can feel the passion that I have for what I do. And that's your voice. I believe that it gives you strength in what you do. I believe that it speaks, right? It can move mountains, and it can also move people, right? Your voice. Your voice is important because we can stir up people in a negative way, or we can move people in a positive way. So we want to make sure that if we have a voice, that we're moving people in a positive way, right? And not doing it for a negative. And the last E I have is going to be eager, right? You should always be eager in life and enjoy life, right? So it kind of goes together. So this is what I call eagerly enjoying life. Do not let life pass you by. You're in high school and it seems like it's going to be forever before you graduate, and I can promise you that it is not. Even for those that are in the 9th grade, you're going to look around, next thing you know, you're in the 12th grade, and you're graduating from high school, and I don't know what happens to the time. My time kind of got fuzzy there. You start counting after about the 25th birthday, you start counting a little bit, and I can understand that. So just remember that, be eager in life, do the things that you want to do, live for yourself. It doesn't mean to be selfish, but live for yourself. And sometimes that does mean making decisions that everyone is not going to be happy about, but that you have peace with. This is all important. It's always important to have peace with your decisions. I was asked about a quote that inspires me, and this quote really does inspire me. It's actually going on my office wall next week. I've actually purchased it, and I want to read it to you. So this quote is from Steve Jobs. So I'm going to read it. It says, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius." And isn't that what we're celebrating? We're celebrating genius. Because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are actually the ones who do. Because you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe that your idea is that, and that's what he did. I remember when Steve Jobs first introduced the iPhone in 2006, I believe he was at a conference. I went back and watched it. People thought he was ludicrous. And now the iPhone is one of the most popular phones in the world. So I just want to leave you guys with something. It is to believe in yourself. It is to be kind, but it's most importantly to be you. You have to find yourself. You have to find your voice, and you have to know that when you're making decisions, you're making decisions for yourself. You're glorifying those things that you want to glorify in life, and that you have peace with the things that you do. But most importantly, enjoy life. Thank you so much for giving me this time. Again, I'm honored and grateful. I am so grateful that you guys even asked me to do this. Thank you so much.
Let's please show our gratitude to Ms. Jesselyn Anderson for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
At this time, we will share our school-wide door decorating contest winner. musical ceremony today and always remember to celebrate the
Greatness of your genius.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skins become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtapositioning us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. You ain't living in us. Resistance is us. That's why I wrote to sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it goes down, we woman and man up. They say stand down, no, we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop and we ran up.